Hey everyone, this is Josh Galvin with Tizish.com. On this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up a Facebook page, basically. And here's where you want to go for the Facebook page. The URL that you want to open is the following: facebook.com/ the word pages. Just type that URL into your browser, and then it'll open up a page just like this. But before I go any further, here's what you need to understand about Facebook pages. Facebook pages aren't going to be something that exists as a whole new Facebook account, technically. What you're going to do is, this page is what comes up for me because I logged into my personal profile. So what you need to do is first make a Facebook personal profile, and then with that Facebook profile, you're going to create a Facebook page. Now, when you create a Facebook page, technically it's a whole different profile, but at least it's existing under your one same profile login. So you're not going to have two Facebook logins. It's not going to work in that way. Alright, so here's what you have to do basically. Go to facebook.com/pages, and then, of course, before going here, log into Facebook with your personal profile login. Once you do that, you'll see a page just like this. At this point, hit the button that says Create Page, and you'll come to a page that's just like this. For real estate, you'd be a local business or place. Most of the time, you will be local business or place, so you'll click on this button. And then what you gotta do is fill out these items first. Pretty straightforward. Choose a category, so you'd find real estate. And then business or place, this is the name of your page. So just to give you an example, this is probably the most important part that you have to do. So see right here where it says business or place? If I go to the Tizish page, you see the name of the page here. Well, that's gonna be whatever you put here in the business or place. So keep that in mind. And here's a few key things about choosing your business or place name. Make it exactly what the place name really is. If you're the John Doe real estate team, then give it the John Doe real estate team. Whatever you want your brand to be. And this, again, this could open up a whole conversation about what's the best strategy. Should it be a message or whatever the case is? I'm not going to go into that right now, but just keep in mind that your Facebook business page name is right here. So make sure it's something solid. And a quick tip on that: don't get carried away with SEO keywords. Don't try to say, if you're the John Doe real estate team, you don't have to put things like, John Doe San Francisco real estate team. You don't have to try to do keywords. The SEO value out of your title here really isn't that much, so don't try to keyword stuff it or anything. It's pointless if you do that, and it looks weird to consumers. It looks very spammy when you start posting, when you start showing up in their walls. So keep it very simple, the exact name of your organization. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So here's my example content. Hopefully this will work. Let's see. It should work on yours because you will put in real content and put in just your office address. But you could put in your own name, of course, and then go ahead and click on Get Started. Okay, and there it goes. After it gets started, it's going to tell you one by one what you should be doing, and pretty much just follow all the advice and what they suggest one by one. The first thing you want to do is add an image, of course. You don't have to invite friends just yet. You could ignore that. Actually, let me take back that statement. You don't have to do all this one by one. Here's the things I recommend you do. Number one, add an image, because that's the key thing. And you could make a really big image. It doesn't have to be small. It could be very long vertically. It could be up to 3 times the size of this vertically. Alright, so keep that in mind when you make the image. It doesn't have to be a small one. Now, after you do that, here's what you want to do. Click on this button that says Edit Info. And in this Edit Info page, this is where you want to make your changes. Here's the key things you want to do. Under Basic Information, just scroll down, make sure this stuff is accurate. This is what you filled in earlier. You could choose anything if you want to have times. If you don't want to have this, then just uncheck them or just keep them open. It doesn't really matter. And then now here's really the key ones right here. Your About, your description, and then your email, your phone number, and your website. Here's what you want to do. Definitely fill in the About. So this is the About. And make sure it's just filled out. And then now the description. This is the description. I'm just doing this to show you where it goes. And now price range. You don't really have to. You could leave it unspecified. You could leave this if you want. Doesn't really matter. Of course, enter an email. So email@gmail.com. That's just an example. And then here's the key one. Your website. Just type them out like this. www.yourwebsite.com. And if you have another one, just type it out as well. www.yourwebsite. Maybe your Twitter account. So twitter.com/ your brand, whatever your Twitter handle is. And if you have a YouTube, put the YouTube here. So basically, just put your websites here. But the first one, make sure that the first one is your main company website. All right. So after doing that, you would go ahead and click on Save, and it'll say Information Updated. So now let's look at the page real quick, and you'll see right here. You see how the About Info's here? Well, here's one key thing that I recommend you for sure do. Under this About Info, click on Edit one more time. And now that you see how it works, what you want to do is add your URL somewhere in the beginning. So let's go. Let's open up two pages real quick. So you see here how we see after after the fourth one, there's a little bit of space for a URL. What you want to do is enter your URL so it appears right here. That's ideal. So let's go back and just enter the URL right there of your website as well. And then after that, go ahead and click on Save Changes. And now let's view the page again. And see how now it goes ... Well, since that means that there's no room. So maybe what you want to do is under the About, put the URL at the beginning. I'm just showing you ways to try to make it work. So the URL didn't work, so let's just put it in the beginning. And then now we're going to go ahead and hit Save. But if you're going to put the URL at the beginning, then make sure it sounds reasonable while you're doing that, and give it, see, here's the URL. So at least you have a URL there. But it kind of looks goofy, and notice how it's not clickable. So if that's the case, then just try to put it more towards the end and give a command. This is just a suggestion, it's an idea. So you don't have to do this. I recommend that you do, but definitely just put it somewhere that makes sense with whatever your About Info is. And then after that, let's just go back to the Edit Info section. One more quick item. You see here when you click on Edit, when I clicked on the Edit button this whole time, you'll notice at the very top that it has the URL up here. See how it says ID equals, and it has this whole code right here before the and symbol. So between the equals and the and symbol, when you click on Edit, it has an ID number. This is what's called your Facebook page ID, and this ID number is what you're going to need when you want to integrate the Facebook like box and like buttons and so forth into your website, following the other video tutorials that I show. So just keep that in mind. To find your Facebook ID, just click on Edit, so you're in your admin panel, and then it's right here at the top URL. It's the symbol after the ID equals, not symbol, it's the numbers right after the ID equals, and it's the one that ends right before the I believe, what do you call it, ampersand, the and symbol is what I'll simply refer to it as. So don't include the and symbol, just the numbers between the and symbol and the ID equals code. Alright, now coming back in here, of course, this is just to go over, this is where you put in a picture for your featured profile. This section called Featured, as a page owner, here's what this means. As the owner of your Facebook page, you can use Facebook as your page. So here's what I mean by that. Alright, so I'm going to go back to John Doe Real Estate Team, and you see this setting here, use Facebook as John Doe Real Estate Team. Well, if I click on that, then my whole Facebook account turns into John Doe Real Estate Team. And what that means is I could go to a Facebook page, like let's say the Tizish page, and I could comment as the John Doe Real Estate Team. So I'm going to go to Tizish right now, and then see how I'm not a fan of it, but if I like the Tizish page, and now let's say I want to write something there, or let's do a comment so that way you could actually see. If I start commenting, see how there's no picture there? Well, basically the reason is I'm commenting as John Doe Real Estate Team. So I'm commenting as my brand itself. So the whole point with that is coming back to the edit options. I'm not going to go into the marketing aspects of that because there are some good marketing things you definitely do want to do. But coming back to that, if we click on featured again, you see here what this section is for add featured likes. If you want to show your favorite pages, so now that I like Tizish, you could show your favorite page there, and I click on save. Let's refresh this whole page. Or let's just, it didn't let me go for whatever reason, so I'm going to come back right into this. So you see right here how it says likes, and we have 1 because we just like Tizish as an example. We like Tizish not as my personal profile, but I liked Tizish as this Facebook page itself. Okay, so what you want to do is when you click on edit info, just explaining what these items are for featured, here's a couple things. If you add featured likes, that just basically says what pages do you want to have featured on your home page. of your Facebook page. So you see one feature like, you could add up to 5 pages, and where that's going to go is the following place. Right here under likes, it's going to show up here as those 5 pages. Those are going to be your 5 preferred ones. All right, and we'll go into more of this into the marketing of using Facebook as your business entity itself. But just for now, understand that's what that function is. Now let's go back to edit and let's learn the rest of them. So we were just now on featured. Now you could add featured page owners. What this pretty much means is if you go to Tizish, for instance, you'll see at the very bottom, see right here page owners, and it has my personal profile. Well, that's what that section is. If you go under featured page owners, just add your personal profile. So add featured page owners and simply add yourself. So that way it gives the human face behind the voice of your Facebook page. Now going to these next items, if you click on marketing, this is just for advertising and if you're going to start advertising. I'm not going to go into this, but one thing I would recommend is see right here, tell your fans. If you click this button, what you could do is you could pretty much upload people and email like a list that you have a new fan page. But I don't really recommend doing it that way through Facebook system. You're better off doing a manual email to somebody and just telling them about your page. Now coming to the next point, manage admins. If you want someone else to be an administrator, simply go here and add them to your account just by hitting add another admin, and then it'll show people's names and so forth as you start typing them in. Now coming here to apps. What apps is the following section. If you go to your Facebook page, so let's go ahead and go to view page, and I'm going to show you compared to Tizish as well, just to make it clear. If you go here, you see all these buttons here. These are basically where your apps will go. So here's the whole point. If you go to Tizish, for instance, you'll see that I have photos, I have YouTube, I have video, and I have blog, and I have questions. What that means is on this section, all the stuff here, these are your tabs. So let's say you want to browse more apps, you can add your own custom tabs that will appear here in this section. So just an example, let's just do one quick demo one. You are using Facebook as John Doe, that's totally fine, so we'll continue as the personal profile since I'm under Josh Galvin. And now let's just pretend we want to find an ad. I'm just going to pick one of these randomly just to make sense of this. So let's say we're going to choose band profile. I'm just picking something randomly just to make it simple. Now here's how it works. You go to an app like this, and by the way, this may not make any sense. I have way other tutorials on the actual marketing aspects of which apps you want to use to create a YouTube tab and all these other items. But for now, here's the whole concept. Let's say you want to add this app to your page, or you know what? Let's just do a YouTube one. This will make so much more sense. YouTube Video Box app. So if I click on that, we're on a page like this now, right? Well, here's what you'd want to do. Let's say you want to add this to your page. They're a little funky with how they look. So, okay, scratch that. This one's confusing. So let's go to the Posterous app, for instance, right? So let's say you want to add, an app to your system. That one's also confusing. So this just isn't working with these apps. So let me find one. And unfortunately, just for the sake of continuity, I'm coming back to this band one. Although it's not at all relevant, let's pretend it was a relevant ad. Alright, so see right here at the bottom of an app, it says add to my page. Well, all you gotta do is click this button, add to my page, and then you have a choice to add it to your page wherever you want. And what happens is that app will now show up right here under this section. The whole goal of apps, going back now to it, let's just go back to the profile. The whole goal of these apps is simply that you want to have custom landing tabs. Maybe you want to have a YouTube app. Maybe you want to have a custom landing page. And I have separate tutorials that go over how to make those. But just understand that's what apps are. Those are the things that appear here in this section. Alright? Now, going to these next parts. Mobile, this is really just basically if you want to sign up, if you want to connect your Facebook page to your mobile phone and basically update your Facebook page through your phone, you could do it through here. You don't really need to do this. There's Facebook apps that handle all this stuff for you, so don't do it this way. Just get a Facebook app. Now the other item right here, Insights. This is your analytics for your Facebook app. So if you click on Insights, this is basically your data. It tells you who's visited your page, who's interacted. There's loads of data basically here for you to see. I'm not going to go over this in all detail, but just understand that this is your data after you start marketing and using Facebook. So now let's go back. And one quick thing as well, when you click on mobile, here's one thing that you for sure need to do. This is the only thing I recommend. And you don't even have to click on mobile. You actually go to this website. Notice the Facebook URL. So let's go to our page. It's called, this is how you make a vanity URL. Notice if you look at the URL, it's a long one, facebook.com/pages, then it has your name and then all these weird characters. Well, you can make a custom URL that says like facebook.com and then have it say /John Doe Real Estate Team, whatever your brand is, instead of being all those weird numbers. However, you can't make this until you have 25 likes minimum. And the place you go to make this is the following place, facebook.com/username. And when you go to this page, this basically gives you the ability to choose a page on this drop down menu and then create your own username for it. So that way you have a special URL. Alright, so that's another thing you want to keep in mind. But you won't be able to do that until you get 25 likes. Alright? So pretty much that's everything for this section. One quick item, if you go under your settings, this is just basic. It explains it for you. Do you want to receive emails every time someone comments? I think you should have that on. And then basically under manage permissions, this is just basically things that people can and can't see. If you end up making a custom landing page, see right here where it says default landing tab, you could choose which one do you want visitors to see when they first come on your page. So your wall is basically the following. Your wall is right here, and then you see how just it says info or photos, for instance. Basically, what you could do is in the Facebook system, you could choose what your default landing page is. So you could just choose wall, info, photos, or if you end up adding more apps to it, you could end up choosing one of those apps to be your homepage landing page. Alright, so pretty much these are the main things you need to know for setting up your Facebook business page. There's a lot more marketing stuff that go into this. The key ones being setting your username that I kind of touched on, and then the other key things are getting your apps put in, and specifically the apps would be like a welcome tab that kind of tells people to like your page or sign up for a newsletter, things like that. And then of course the third one, which is going to be on using this, would be right here under use Facebook as John Doe Real Estate Team, which means you can click this button and comment on other people's Facebook pages that you have liked, like I showed you on the Tizish one, but you could comment not as just your personal profile, but as your business entity, which is it's a huge deal for branding. So keep those in mind, look for the other videos on those items, and good luck and take care. Go to facebook.com/Tizish to connect with me, like our page here, sign up for our newsletter on our website, and then just keep up to date with us. Alright, good luck and take care.